Welcome back to another episode of Ruin. Now before we go on our off-roading adventures, we're going to be replacing the lower ball joints on Steve's 4Runner. Now before we get started, I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button below so you can keep up with our latest shenanigans and videos. Now today's going to be a very special episode because I'll be going face to face with my mentor Steve and seeing who can replace the lower ball joints more efficiently. That's me. Now keep in mind, the most I've ever done was an oil change and use a tire machine for the first time to replace tires. But that won't matter because I'm gonna beat Steve, take him to town, and show him that he's the real amateur.
So these third-gen 4Runners are notorious for front lower ball joint failures. So much so that in fact in 2005, Toyota North America has issued a recall affecting over 700,000 units. The weird thing is that these failures happen without any warning whatsoever, so it's important to check for end play when you're servicing the vehicle. Other than that, and a pink milkshake issue in the coolant, these 4Runners are super reliable. But enough of my rambling, let's battle for the wrenches. So here are the tools you're gonna need. You're gonna need a 24mm socket, a 19mm socket, and a 14mm socket. I've got the ball joint separator right here, blue Loctite, a pair of dikes, a wire brush, a 6-inch extension, and an impact gun. If you don't have an impact gun, you can always use a breaker bar and a torque wrench. You're gonna need this when you tighten down the bolts. These two front lower ball joints are from Toyota OEM. It's important to use OEM parts because the aftermarket stuff, they say those are prone to failure as well.
All right, Steve, on your mark, get set, go.
Round one.
All right, the first thing you gotta do is to remove the cotter pin from the bottom. This is the ball joint castle nut.
What does the cotter pin do, Steve?
The cotter pin prevents the castle nut from backing itself off. I'm having a problem with the cotter pin, so I'm just gonna impact it off. Boom, look at that, the ball joint's separated already from the control arm. Weird. And the next thing you gotta do is to remove the cotter pin from...
It was at this moment that he knew.
...the tie rod. And as you can see, this tie rod is pretty rusty on the castle nut portion. This might be an issue. So look at that castle nut over there and look how rusted it is. Before we go any further, we need to get new outer tie rods because I don't trust those threads to take that nut. Well, that was kind of unexpected. I didn't think that the tie rod nut would be so rusty. Bill and I are gonna have to source a tie rod for the driver's side. I think the passenger side was replaced at one point, but maybe that could explain why the steering wheel's a little offset.
The time's still running, Steve. It's gonna take you.
I'm gonna still beat you, Bill.
It's gonna take 2 weeks for you to install the.
I'm gonna still beat you. I don't care.
Joints.
All right, guys. Through the magic of TV, we got an outer tie rod. This is actually a Toyota OEM brand 555. Some of you may have heard of that.
All right.
Made in Japan. So now we can get to work.
All right, guys. So Steve is 23 hours and 55 minutes behind because he forgot to order the outer tie rods. It looks like I'm gonna win.
All right. So the cotter pin is still in there. I'm not gonna remove it, but I'm just gonna blast the nut off. Wrong socket.
You're gonna lose, Steve.
So I'm not gonna remove the tie rod from the castle nut up here because this is actually connected to the lower ball joint. I'm just gonna remove the nut over here and back it off the inner tie rod. Because the truck is so rusty, I gotta add some heat to it.
So what are you doing right now?
I am removing the inner tie rod from the outer tie rod. Now I'm gonna grab my 14mm and I'm gonna take the 4 nuts off of the lower ball joint where it meets the lower control arm.
This thing's dusty. Bruh. Yo, what is that, yo? Steve using all the tricks in the book.
So to prepare the outer tie rod, try to get the jam nut as close to the stock location as possible. This will help you retain the alignment settings. You're gonna have to get an alignment anyway, but this will help you get it in the ballpark. Now make sure the dowels are lined up with the holes. I like to clean up the bolts a little bit by scrubbing the threads with the wire brush.
We got a shoe cleaner over here. Is that's thread lock, right?
Yeah.
That's what Chris Fix uses all the time, right?
How do you know, Bill?
I watch all his videos.
Oh yeah, yet you know so little.
I'm gonna know more than you soon. It's not taking me 24 hours to replace the lower ball joint.
All right, now thread the bolts in by hand. Get a few threads on there just to make sure you don't cross thread them. You're gonna want to tighten them to 59 foot-pounds. Of course, I'm gonna use the impact.
This guy. I'm just trying to get it done.
Screw on the bottom castle nut by hand. I think this is 109 foot-pounds of torque. And of course, you want to get the hole in the bolt to line up with the castle nut, so I'm going to go a little bit past 109. Now you can insert your cotter pin.
So using pliers to split the ends?
Yeah. These 14mm bolts are torqued to 59 foot-pounds.
59, not 69, right?
Very funny, Bill. So the final step is just to fold the cotter pin so you lock the castle nut in place. And that's time. What's up, Bill? Get at me.
Yo, so this guy did it in how long? 25 hours.
Chill, chill.
25 hours. 25 hours.
All right, your turn.
I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat him. Watch, guys. Even though it's my first time doing it, I got his name. I got his number.
Hold the flashlight. All right, Bill, you ready?
Yeah. Let's do this.
Begin.
Round two, fight!
Oh, I think you take off the cotter pin.
Uh-huh. Yeah, remove the cotter pin from the outer tie rod and the lower ball joint.
This thing is so rusted. Yo, this thing snapped in half. Bro. What the hell is this?
Do you need my help?
This is the car from...
Yo, make sure we can get home.
Alright, there we go.
All right.
So that's it, right?
Okay, now
Yeah.
do the lower ball joint cotter pin.
Okay. Oh, I see. Now straighten that out. As you can see, guys, I'm a total noob at this. So if I can do it, any of you guys can do it. It doesn't hurt to try. You know, we all start somewhere, so don't be embarrassed. Just
That's
put
true.
yourself out there.
That's true. Bill knows absolutely nothing about auto stuff, but you can ask him stuff about finance and stocks. He'll give you the lowdown. All right, Bill. So if you
put it
want,
aside?
if you want,
Yeah.
you can just do what I did and blast off the nut, and instead of actually taking out the cotter pin,
Take out. Okay, cool.
you can cheat a little bit. So cut the cotter pin clean off.
Like this?
Flip the pliers around.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so it's flush.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I see.
Get the 24mm socket. Yep, that's 24. Grab the hammer
Yeah.
and the 24, and you're gonna hammer the 24 on there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yo, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. Just
Alright, I gotta stay calm.
get it done. Send it.
Stay calm, Bill. Stay calm.
Go, 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 go. There you go. All right, that's good. It's on.
Okay, make sure this is the right way. This is my first time using an air hose, believe it or not. I've used
Air impact.
air impact, yeah. I have used electric impact.
Oh, yeah. All right. Keep your face away from it.
Okay, oh. Yo, I got this stuff in my eye.
You don't want to get any uglier than you already. I mean, you don't. Wrong way.
Oh, wait. Come on.
Okay, now remember what I said. Instead of holding down the trigger, brap it.
Okay, got it.
Pulse on it, yeah. Don't strip it, dude.
Oh.
There you go, that's one.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, so push up against it so you don't strip it.
Of course, okay.
You have to turn the whole spindle to get yourself some access.
Yeah.
Don't push on that.
Don't put, okay.
You're not pushing on the thing that moves. And put your hand on the other side of the disc. There you go.
Okay, on the...
You got it.
Okay.
Now get the remaining two.
It's impact time, boys.
Okay, now get the Pitman arm puller, which I used before. I didn't mention it to you guys.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, alright. Zero finesse whatsoever. Yo, I'm just breaking your balls, man.
Go easy on me, please. Okay.
Alright, pretty good, pretty good. So the Pitman arm puller is usually used for steering systems that have a steering box rather than a rack and pinion. You want to tighten now.
Tighten, yeah, because we're pushing up, right?
That's right, that's right. There you go.
Oh, okay, now.
Done.
It's off.
Yeah. You got it.
I really appreciate Dave for letting us use his shop. I feel like I'm in mechanic trade school. I really appreciate Steve showing me how to do everything.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm really getting to like to do car work.
All right, I think you're forgetting one more thing.
One more thing. Would it be this?
Yep.
Okay, so I gotta take it out.
Yeah, on this car, it's a 24 millimeter because that outer tie rod is aftermarket. Hold up. Get your face away from it. All right, so take the Pitman arm puller and remove the outer tie rod.
Oh, I was trying to do it in my head. I gotta use the Pitman arm puller again. Okay. Pitman arm puller on.
What are you doing?
There we go.
Why are you doing that?
Oh, wait, on the wrong one, sorry.
I don't know. Don't look right.
Is it the wrong size? No.
You gotta go like this.
This? Oh, because it's the opposite way. Oh, got it. So I was pushing up last time, so I was going from underneath, and now we're pushing down. So
My man learning right here.
it's tiny. There we go. Ooh. Oh.
There you
get
go.
out?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so Bill, how many bolts have you removed so far?
I have removed 4 over here.
Okay, those 14 millimeters,
I've removed the castle nut,
which is 24 millimeter,
and then I've removed the outer tie rod nut.
which is a 2 millimeter in our case, but typically it's a 19 millimeter from OEM.
Got it. So now I just push this out,
Yep.
and then now I have to get the lower ball joint out. So I
Yep.
use. Did we already? Oh yeah, we already used this, right?
So push the knuckle out of the way. There you go.
Done.
Yeah.
Oh man, wow! I can't believe it. I don't believe this, guys. What is this? Bill did it.
We got the lower ball joint
Yo,
out.
high five, man. You deserve that. Wow, I think you might have beat my time. Bill, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel like I'm learning so much.
You can do everything and anything?
Yeah, everything and anything. Like, I want to learn how to work on cars, build them, maintain them, do everything and anything. You know, doing car work, it's a lot of fun. It stimulates the mind and everything.
On top,
underneath,
right?
yeah,
Yep.
on top. Just put this underneath like this.
Ah,
Oh, and then we have to connect the
Yeah.
outer tie rod to the lower ball joint.
yep.
Okay, then we should put the castle nut on.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Oh, the other way.
Yep.
Oh yeah, our castle has to go through the hole. That's why we do it this way.
Yes.
You're laughing. Are we doing something wrong?
You're kind of killing yourself.
Yeah. Watch out. Oh, do you want to show them a pro tip? All right, guys. Pro tip. Steve told me to use the pry bar so I can jam it in there, so I can push the torque wrench more easily to 103 pounds.
Huh? What? How much?
No, 67. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right, time.
What do you think your time is?
1 or 2 hours? 2 hours? Oh yeah, 49 minutes. But Steve did help me on a lot of parts. I felt like If we had to troubleshoot, I'd probably get his time of 25 hours. And it's supposed to be the other way around. I learned so much. There was so many tips and tricks like you can use, such as using a pry bar, and then you can leverage it against
To
that.
hold the knuckle.
You have to hold the knuckle, so
Yeah.
then you can leverage against that, and you can torque the outer tie rod.
Yep.
He was showing me how to properly use the impact wrench. You push it all the way against the nut so you don't strip it.
Bill, great job. That does it for this install of the lower ball joints. In the next clip, I think we're gonna weld Freddy's subframe, and then we're gonna go off-roading.
Yo, I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Catch you guys on the next one.